What's going on, guys? Welcome to our podcast, Walking Manifestator. I am your host, Alexa Peña, and in this podcast, I am on one mission and one mission only, and that is going to help you awaken your truest and highest self. Embrace and embody your true power and help you elevate to a completely new consciousness. A transformational journey with the Walking Manifestator you are born to be.
Today, we're going to get into something that I think most of us struggle with, and we need to really bring awareness to this because until we make the unconscious conscious, it will forever direct our life, and we will call it faith. That is one of my favorite quotes, and I was really inspired to talk about this conversation today because I was actually going through my notes, and I was like, what should we talk about? And I found a journal entry of my son that accidentally thought that I had given him one of my favorite journals. And long story short, he wrote something down and I was reading it. And this is a 9-year-old, right? And the way that he is talking, I'm not going to read everything to you, but there's a part where he says, basically, when you're older and, your grandchildren are looking at what you build, are you going to be a bystander and feeling feelings of what you should have done? He says, you should have been the main course in your story, never the appetizer. And I was like, yes, that is 1,000% accurate. And I love the fact that he is thinking this way. But why is it so easy for him to think that way? And I know he has his moments. I know he has his moments where he gets upset, he gets frustrated. He's a kid after all. But for the most part, he's learned something that most of us as young kids, we never were taught, which is how to self-regulate. And in this conversation, I want to share with you something that has been a superpower for me, a very powerful tool that even today, I had to really use because we had a short minute or last minute notice for a showing that was going to happen with the property that I currently live in. And to make the long story short, whenever we are in this state of focusing on everything that we're missing or focusing on everything that's wrong in our life, it simply attracts more lack into our life. So the first thing that I want you to get clear on is, what is the autopilot voice in your head constantly telling you? And maybe you haven't realized it yet. Maybe it's just kind of been playing in the background, or maybe you've already realized it and you're kind of tired of it. You're kind of like, I do not like that voice because it always makes me feel insecure. It always makes me feel bad about myself. It always makes me feel less than whatever. And once you understand this, I want you to really get into this second part, which is when we focus on everything that is going wrong, when we focus on everything that everybody's doing that we don't want them to do in a certain way, when we get into this state of survival, we are literally depleting our life force. And I'm going to share a story because I think that that's the way that we learn as humans the best. So like I mentioned, I had a showing earlier today and there was a bunch of stuff going on. I was very overwhelmed. I was definitely frustrated. And there was a moment where I just had to take a break and I just had to say, Alexa, you get to do this and you get to be in a situation where you're pausing your business and you still get to make money because your clients are not depending on you being at the office. I started focusing on everything that's actually going great. Even though in that moment, nothing felt like it was going great. The time was against us. I felt really pressured into wanting to make sure that the house was in tip-top shape because I know what it is to show houses and I know what it's like when we see a house that's not presentable and when I show a house that's actually presentable. Those small little things make such a big difference for the buyers. And maybe you're like, okay, Alexa, how does this have anything to do with me, right? Like, what does this do for me? Well, because the powerful tool that I've learned is changing my thoughts. And it sounds so easy, but to be very frank with you, it's one of the hardest things that I've had to learn to do. And I am still learning how to do it better every day. There's always those thoughts that come to my mind that can be very negative, that can be very polarizing, that can be very extreme. And in those moments, instead of suppressing them, I actually let them go wild for a few seconds. I let them go to the extremes. I let them get to the point where I'm like, oh, even if I did this, actually, this would be really bad. I'll give you an example, right? My dog, the one that I currently fostered, right? I fostered him the end of last year, well, mid last year. And he was supposed to just be like a temporary thing, right? I already had 3 dogs at home. He was number 4. And because I'm a sucker for dogs and because I felt this like vulnerable place in my heart for him, I was like, dude, you're here and you're going to stay here. And it is what it is. Like I stopped trying to find him a home. But there's times where this dog tests my patience. He really does. And because I didn't raise him, it's really hard for me to learn his style of scolding him compared to my dogs. Like my Diamond, Nova, my Pitbull, and my Husky, they're for the most part really good. Like if I tell them go over there, they go over there. If they tell them sit down, whatever I say, they listen to me. Well, Essence is anarchy. And why am I saying this? Well, because I was outside, and this is a part where I need to be real with you guys because I know we all have these thoughts and we all have them in different ways. But I was outside and I just was like, man, this dog doesn't appreciate, because he was destroying my backyard, okay? So that you can understand some context. I was like, this dog doesn't appreciate everything I do for him. I'm so tired. This was all happening in my head, right? I'm so tired of this. What would happen if I just let him go? And in that moment, when I went to the extreme, which was letting my dog go, my thoughts came pouring over me. My consciousness, my higher consciousness, as I like to call it, my best self Alexa, as I like to see it, comes up and is like, oh, you would do that? Really? You would let this poor dog that you took in, you would just let him go? Wow. What kind of person does that? Would you do that to your kids? Would you just let your kids go just because it's too hard? And in that moment, it was like all that negativity melted away from me because I knew that in that moment, I was just frustrated. In that moment, I'm just mad at the fact that I'm cleaning up his mess and I'm just focusing on everything that's going wrong. I'm focusing on the fact that the showing is about to happen. I'm focusing on the fact that things are not the way that I want it. I'm focusing on everything that is wrong in this picture. And the thing is that when we do that, this is one of the most detrimental things that we can do as humans because it's like an amplifier. It's literally like a magnifying glass. Like now you don't focus on the fact that, hey, shouldn't you be thankful for the fact that you even have a house? Like there's people out there that don't have a house. Like, hey, shouldn't you be focused on the fact that you are actually in a place where you can take time off your work without you feeling like you're going to get fired? Because there's people out there like that. And this is where I'm trying to share this key part of my journey, which is you need to switch everything that you're focusing on that's going wrong into everything that you have that is going right. Another part to this, which is very important, is who are you surrounding yourself with? You see, I've talked about this before, but for those of you that are new, I've mentioned my life story. I grew up in a place where it was survival of the fittest, and you wanted to hang out with the bad crowd because the bad crowd was going to protect you. That's just what it was. And I became this person that was brainwashed by these acts and behaviors that I thought were going to get me protection, that were going to make me more valuable. And when I grew out of that, when I said, you know what, I actually want better out of life, I had to get to a point where, and I'm honest with you, like I didn't even plan for it. It wasn't like I sat there in my room and said, okay, I'm going to cut out all my friends. No, like because I wasn't at that point where I wanted to let go of my friends or I wanted to let go of everything in that life. God just came and started stripping away all the things that were not serving me. I lost my relationship at that time. I lost my friends. I lost the people that I felt were closest to me. I lost opportunities that I thought were opportunities that were actually not opportunities because they actually were going to lead me toward a path that was no good. Gradually, things started to change for me. Gradually, and I say this because this is the part that's so beautiful about coaching. And this is why I shared that story about my son earlier. You don't have to go through all the freaking mess. I remember I used to hear this from my grandmother that used to say, I'm trying to save you from all my mistakes. And I hated that because I was like, well, I want to go through those mistakes. I want to learn myself. I want to experience them like a crazy person over here. I would say that. And why would I say that? Because nobody really explained to me, like, this is what actually happens. This is what's actually going to be your life if you go down that road. And nowadays that we have social media, that we have these kind of podcasts, that we have self-improvement, that we are actually willing to look at the mirror and say, where can I be better? I love you, but where can I be better? This is the beauty of you listening to something like this and saying, you know what? Yeah, I don't have to wait for life to strip away those people that are not good for me. I can choose now that relationship isn't healthy for me. And I already know it, but I'm sitting there and I'm taking it and I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. And not only that, but this is where things get very violent in some situations, right? Because you knew that that person wasn't for you, but you were so afraid to leave that things just got worse. And this is, again, I know some people are in like domestic situations where it's very hard for them to get out because they're literally afraid for their life. This is why I believe that you should definitely get out before it gets to those points. But there are people out there that are in those situations. And if you're one of them and you're listening to this and you're like, Alexa, I want out, there is always a way. And I am telling you this from experience. There is always a way, whether it means you moving and relocating your family to an entire different country, even if it means like you spending all the last money that you have to make this transition happen, there's always a way. The thing is that we always focus on why we can't do it, that we stay in that survival, we stay in that situation. And it goes exactly the same with our friends. We wait until that friend backstabs us. We wait until that situation gets worse until we decide, you know what, it's time to leave. And here's the thing. When we really understand and we become aware of these thoughts that we're having, this is where we really pivot out of the lack. We pivot out of everything that's missing and we actually start raising our vibration. And we've talked about this before, but the simplest way for me to explain you're raising your vibration is that now that energy, that essence that you carry, you're bringing more abundance into your essence, and you're therefore able to attract more love, more serendipity, more abundance. And you're not necessarily going to just attract it from somewhere or something or someone else. You need to become that thing. So for me, for example, when I look at myself, there's certain times that old insecure part of me sometimes wants to creep up and say like, oh, look at how you look today, or oh, look at your hair or your lipstick or whatever. It tries to come in a subtle way. And what I just say is, you know what? I love myself. I love how I look. I love the fact that maybe I like to dress weird. And I love the fact that maybe there's times that there's girls out there that have their beautiful makeup on point and I don't like to wear makeup anymore. So I just put blush on and I put my lashes on and I put my eyeshadow and my brows, darken them up, and that's it. And I actually remind myself that I get to decide who I want to be. I don't have to have somebody else tell me who I need to be. And this is the beautiful part that really helps you in this becoming, in this evolving into your best version of yourself. You don't just overnight, oh, I'm that person. No, it's an active showing up. And by showing up, at one point you look back and you're like, oh God, I'm that person. And even when you think you're that person, there's still another milestone to hit because you haven't met that other version of you. This is why I say you never really quite get there. Like until you die, like literally, you're going to go back and look at all your life and, wherever we go after we die, I believe in the fact that we do have this like ever evolving consciousness. I believe that depending on what you did here on earth, you're going to go to like another level. That's my belief. You do whatever you want to believe in, and that's your, that's your right. But for me, I want to learn the most that I possibly can here while I'm here. I want to take on this challenge, this opportunity as, okay, if Alexa only has one lifetime and I never get to come back, I want to make sure that I try my very best every single time. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is the fact that breathwork has been such a game changer for me. When I'm getting frustrated, when I'm getting overwhelmed, whatever I'm feeling that's not just like peace, because happiness is an emotion. I think peace is more of a state of mind. Like you can be really upset, but still have peace with what is happening. Like when somebody passes away, when you lose money, when you didn't get the job, when you didn't get the person that you wanted to be with, whatever. Like you can be really sad, but you're still at peace because you know that you're alive and you'll be fine. So for me, breath work has been such a game changer for me. Ever since I started meditating, and I'll be honest, like I don't meditate to the intensity where I once was. I'm like making it a point to get back into it because again, we're human and we focus on so many things other than like the very thing that's actually supposed to help us get to that goal that we want. But I do always do either a walking meditation, which is like when I'm walking, I'm focusing on everything that I have and I'm just taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And I take a moment to reflect on what I'm about to say. So instead of just spewing out whatever I want to say in that moment, I take a moment to take a deep breath in, process whatever my emotion is feeling in that moment, let it feel itself, and then gradually let it go as I exhale. And a nice little tip for you is inhale abundance, grace, love, patience. That's what I tell myself. And then you exhale all the you don't want anymore. So I hope this helps even just one of you. For those of you that keep coming back to listen to these rambles, I just want to say thank you because these rambles are not for me. These rambles are, yes, in part for me because I like to learn from my own reflection back. But honestly, it's my way of giving back. It's my way of sharing with you the years of craziness that I've gone through and that I continue to experience, the books that I've read, the masterminds that I'm part of, the coaching lessons, the coaching programs that I paid for, and it's my way of giving back to you for free. So I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. If you have any questions or you would like for us to talk about something specifically, go ahead and send us a message on Instagram. And we are going to be having a live event next month, and that is something that we will be sharing more details about. And hopefully you guys can make it. We're going to make it a Q&A interactive experience where I will be basically teaching you guys some of our core principles behind changing your identity, becoming the person that you want to be so that you can really manifest the life of your dreams. So with that, thank you again for being here. If nobody's told you, I love you, and I will talk to you on the next one.
Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of Walking Manifestator. And with that being said, I want to remind you, visualize, embody, and transcend. Be the walking manifestator you are born to be.